certainly was a hard-fought win. I have great respect for Jeremy Ballard and the job that he's done already at FIU. For them to come in here 3-0, and then also for them to be averaging 104 points, just really impressive. So we scrimmaged that team, FIU, here at Rose Hill Gym last year, and so obviously they've grown, they've matured, but they are really explosive offensively. So I was proud of how we handled the press. We did not allow the press to bother us. I shouldn't say that, because we did have a few turnovers in the first half that we didn't like. But in general, our guys showed toughness because we had the lead at half. We gave it up when we were down 5, and then we showed some toughness and made 14 straight free throws down the stretch.
In the beginning of the game, about like the first 4 minutes, you guys were struggling to get a basket. What was the mind state that you put your team in to get them going in the first half?
Yeah, I don't know if I certainly didn't say anything that helped them, but you're right, that was like a cold beginning, right? We do have multiple guys on the team that literally saw snow for the first time yesterday. Maybe that's why they were so cold, but our guys are growing up.
And you talked about that press in the first half, and I completely agree with you. There were a couple turnovers there, but mostly you guys handled it pretty well, pretty smoothly, breaking it every possession. What were you telling the guys? What was the plan against the press?
Well, we've worked on a lot of things that are effective against aggressive half-court defense or aggressive full-court defense. And so I thought for the most part our guys really were composed. There are a couple that we will improve and we'll get rid of. But that's who FIU is. That's why they're averaging 104 points, is they've been stealing the ball and turning other people over. So, I don't know exactly why FIU didn't press in the second half, but maybe it's because we did handle it pretty well.
But Jesse Bunton had a really big game. How do you think he's changed his game from when he was healthy last few seasons back to where he's at now?
Yeah, so he's a guy that's grown up quite a bit, and evidence of in his 4th year in the program how much a guy can improve. Jesse did play this way in his last game last year, so he only played maybe 7 games last year, and the last one was against Manhattan, and he was the MVP of the game. He just threw his body out there. And so he has done that now 3 games in a row for us. We've had inconsistency as a team. The one player who's been consistent through 3 straight games is Jesse Bunting.
Now, your freshman point guard, Nick, played a really good game today, 28 points. First 2 games averaged 16 points. How impressed are you with his play, being that this is like the first set of games in Division I college basketball?
Yeah. So when we recruited Nick, we really had high expectations for him. We also understood that, maybe there were some things in his growth process that weren't going to be perfect, but we know that he's a really talented player. And so all we've tried to do from the day he's gotten on campus is to encourage him to be aggressive, encourage him to be a scorer, to be a leader, to be a guy that creates for everyone. And he's certainly growing into that role pretty quickly.
And how does that affect the team when he starts getting going, when he starts becoming aggressive?
Well, I think you see it throughout the A-10. When there's a guard on the floor for George Mason, like Otis Livingston, when there's a guard like Pipkins at UMass, it just totally changes a team because there's so much confidence that the guy with the ball can score it, that the guy with the ball can handle pressure, can create for others, and so that is what Nick did tonight.
Coach, it's a simple thing, but I noticed that at the end of the game, we were talking about it on the broadcast, free throws. Every single important chance at the foul line towards the end of the second half, you guys converted. Obviously, it's a simple thing that every coach says, you got to make your free throws, but how proud of you were you of that performance?
Yeah, it's much more than a simple thing. And so for a guy to go to the line and stick them in over and over. So we made 14 straight at the end of the game. Jesse consistently made his free throws. Nick Honor made a couple big ones. The guy that really was impressive was Jalen Cobb, because nothing really had gone his way tonight. He was in foul trouble, then he was in more foul trouble. He couldn't get his ball to go in. Like, he was trying to create a bucket and he just couldn't get it to go. So the fact that he stepped up and hit his free throws showed toughness.
And what made Jalen Cobb want to be aggressive to get to that foul line? Or he just did it on his own?
Well, that's who he is as a player. I mean, Jalen is a very aggressive player. He can shoot as well, but he's really aggressive with the bounce.